little trip, take a little trip, take a little trip with me. Take a little trip, take a little trip and see. Take a little trip, take a little trip, take a little trip with me.
What's going on, man? Morning, everybody. Afternoon. Oh, still morning for me. Afternoon for some people. How you doing? Listen to music. Good morning. Shit, what'd I just do? Dude. Okay. Apparently I just deleted everything. Oh. Dude, we got Sis T Huckleberry over there on Kick. Sis T on Twitch. Good morning. Good morning, you too. Miss Bungle, YouTube. Oh my gosh, we got a we have a female on every platform almost. Hey, all right. That's interesting. I think you're all females. If I'm not, you better tell me. Pepe the Chihuahua in the house, Dave. Appreciate you, man. Freedom forward. Bro, you probably should just get over that. I'm about to delete you for doing that all the time, okay? I'm tired of it. I don't need to think about that, dude. Ever. Okay? The next time you do that, I'm gonna ban you. I'm not even playing. I'm giving you a warning because I don't want to do it like arbitrarily because I know that's your thing, but I'm tired of it being your thing. I don't need to ever think about that guy. Ever. Literally. Never. Okay? I don't give a shit about what you know about him. Okay? Does anybody? Hey, we could do a poll right now. I don't think they do. Nobody gives a shit about that dude, man. Nobody. That shit happened 2 years ago, dude. Damn. That dude's hung up. What did he do to you? Did he do something to you? Did he touch you? Where did he touch you? Okay. Well, I got that out of the way. I've been meaning to tell him that for a while. Like, bruh, give up on it. I mean, I would kind of understand if it was like Convoy Santa or somebody that was like a higher level person. He was like talking shit about it or something. Maybe, probably not. Still, I wouldn't. I'd be like, dude, that was 2 years ago. What was really going on with you? Do you know them personally? Did he steal your money? Because I think I need to just go to the cops rather than coming to my channel bitching about him all the time. That's the case. I'm waiting on question answer period right here because it should be good. It's the only reason why I'm live right now because question answer period with her talking about the president yesterday should be good. I got into it on Reddit over the past couple of days. He thinks I'm a Trumper because I'm an anti-Bidener. What the fuck is that? You can't dislike Biden without people thinking that you're a Trump cultist. What the fuck is that? It's mildly infuriating, actually. You know what I mean? Like, y'all know that I'm not a Trumper, but I'm definitely not a fucking Bidener. Dude's asleep at the wheel. And people that are on Reddit, they're like, 5 more years, you can, and then another Democrat after that one. They gotta be just trolling or deaf and blind and dumb and stupid. Anybody that they got to be trolling, dude. Anybody that wants another 4 years of what we got right now has to be trolling, dude. Just trying to piss people off on the internet. They probably can't even vote yet. I'm doing all right. Listen, how you doing? I'm chilling. First dab of the day. Oh. Simon's not eating though. I might have to reduce his thyroid medication starting tonight because he's being a little. Oh, there he is. Hey, are you gonna eat now? You're gonna eat now, but you're not gonna eat. Get the fuck away from me, Simon. I don't care if you're not gonna eat. Okay, if you don't want it, just leave me the fuck alone. Okay, you eat it, you don't eat it, just leave me the fuck alone. All right. I'm so tired of the Simon thing. I took him to the vet yesterday. She wanted me to reduce his. She said something about reducing his thyroid medication. I thought maybe I'm gonna give him one more day just to see if he really needs it. So after this, I think he's gonna have to get it reduced because he should be eating right now. Oh, tonight I'll reduce it. See if that works. I'm pulling my hair out, switching his food up, and stirring it, and putting water in it, and stirring it, and patting him while he's eating, and all this shit. I can't do this anymore. I'm fed up. Now he's sitting right there, just staring at his food for some odd reason. Even though it's pretty much the same food he had yesterday, it's a little bit more rabbit in it because I was hoping that maybe he wanted the rabbit more and maybe he tasted it. Ooh, rabbit, my favorite. No, the little bit more rabbit is now causing him not to eat it all. Go figure. And it's a shit ton of food that's down here. Look at this shit. It's like over half a can of food down here. He's just looking at it. I'm tired of having to care about a cat. I'm tired of it. Okay? I'm just venting. I'm just being fucking tired of it.
The Ham Jordan case.
Okay.
And it's expensive to have to deal with this shit.
The White House special counsel, and
So,
no,
I'm
not
just
special
tired of
counsel,
it.
but legal counsel. They're here. They came. Okay. Go ahead, Elmer.
Excuse me. Two questions just following up on comments that the president made last night. President Biden called the military operations in Gaza over the top. And this comes after the White House has pretty consistently defended Israel's conduct. What's changed, and what exactly did the president mean by over the top?
Yeah. So first of all, I would say nothing has changed. His position hasn't changed. I don't think his messaging has changed. We don't think his messaging has changed. He doesn't believe his messaging has changed. This isn't something the first time he's done so, what you heard from him yesterday. Look, the president made it very clear in his comment that he was obviously talking about Israel's conduct in Gaza. And he's been clear. He's been clear that the United States wants to see Hamas, a terrorist organization, defeated. He's been very clear on that. That is a shared goal that we have obviously with Israel. But at the same time, while we have said that, we have been also very clear, the president has been very clear, that they must do so by ensuring that their operations are targeted and conducted in a way that we are protecting innocent civilians. And that is something that we have been incredibly consistent about here in this administration. We want to make sure that we are also protecting innocent civilians. So that is what the president was
you got to play both
speaking
sides.
to yesterday. He was asked obviously
Give them
a
the
direct
missiles.
question, and
It hit them with
answered
the missiles.
Okay, and then just secondly, the president last night bristled against the fact that many Americans have concerns about his age. I think to a question of one of my colleagues, he said, that's your judgment, suggesting it's the media's judgment. There's no shortage of published polls that suggests Americans have concern about his age and stamina, and it's been put in all sorts of different ways. So is the president out of touch with what Americans feel about this issue?
So, look, obviously, when it
That's an
comes to
understatement.
the report more broadly, you just heard from
What is he in touch
my
with?
colleague, Ian Sams. That part of the report we don't think lives in reality, and that's what he was speaking to, where comments were made in that report about that, obviously about his memory that we don't believe lives in reality. And no, I'm going to answer your question.
somehow have a retarded president.
Just give me a beat. I'm going to answer your question. When you have a president that has
Crazy.
been one of the most productive, if not the most productive and effective presidents in modern time, that you
What?
would assume
The
is
most
a president that is indeed
productive
in touch
president
with where
in
the
modern
American people
time.
are,
I
right?
feel like
that would assume that the
Press the
president
rolling up right
understands
now.
what's going on
What did he
around
do?
the kitchen table when Americans are sitting around the kitchen table trying to figure
Fuck
out
everything
how are
up.
they going to deal with the economy, how are they going to deal with health care. So in our opinion, in my opinion, he is very much in touch with what Americans are feeling out there as it relates to lowering costs, as it relates to making sure that we beat Big Pharma. This isn't the president who understands what the American people are feeling. Look, as it relates to his age,
He'll never
as it
understand
relates
what we're
to
feeling.
what has
A
been
rich
said
asshole.
by in this report, it is something that we don't believe lives in reality in the sense of this is a president. I've known this president since 2009.
Neither
known
will
this
Trump.
president. He's
Neither
been
will Trump,
not
though.
just my boss, but a mentor to me.
also a rich asshole.
And no one in this building would say that what we saw in this report about his memory. Everybody sees somebody who works very, very hard, has spent hours with him, understanding exactly where the American people are and what they're feeling, and also how to deliver on those critical, important issues to them.
Your argument on the report and the assertion that it's gratuitous is well taken, as well as what you believe is his performance. I get that.
Yeah.
But he seemed to be playing with a different set of facts. The facts are that this is an issue that Americans are concerned about, and he's saying that it's just the media's judgment.
Right, but he's also joked around with all of you and talked about and said some things about his age in a way that he understands where people are. He actually said that when in his answer. He has also mentioned his old pal Jimmy Madison. Right, he gets it. He gets how he's viewed. He gets what people see and
think
what's
so.
written about him and what the American people also see. But there are other things
Dude,
to
he
note.
bumps into shit when he walks,
when he
man.
was speaker, said that he has found
That's
the
a sign
president
of
mentally
something.
sharp in meetings. You know, there's stories like that from, as they're saying
Always
it
bumping into
quietly,
shit.
privately, House Republicans and other Republicans in Congress.
That's too
But
old.
There's reports from all of you who have said that they have
president.
interviewed some of these folks and have said the president is sharp. The president, when they have a conversation with the president, he understands the issue. I mean, we saw it at the last State of the Union. He was able to negotiate while giving a very
That's
important
why they
speech. about
wanted
90
him,
minutes
because they
to
knew
the
they could
world.
control him being all
millions of Americans watched
ridiculously
as he was
stupid
able
all
to
of a sudden.
negotiate
When did it
with House
happen?
Republicans in the room.
So it's-
People see that also for themselves. They also see that for
Did they
themselves
do
as
it
well.
to him?
So does the president feel that this is the result of
They created
Americans
him.
being concerned about his
They put
age
something in his
is
drink
just
or
based
something,
on
didn't
media
they?
narrative, and it's
He wasn't
not
always
based on
like
reality.
this.
What I'm saying is that he understands what people may think. He's actually joked
yeah,
about it.
pretty much.
He actually has joked
Maybe.
about it, saying Jimmy Madison
Maybe
and
they
have said many other things.
lobotomized
He
him or
says,
something.
I know people think I'm 40 years old. Like, he's made jokes about it, so he gets it. What we are saying, what I am saying
Like
in
the
front
new
of you
age
today
lobotomies.
is that
Like, they did
he has
something to that dude's
results.
head.
There are results. His record, the data shows that this is a president that gets where the American
He's in
people are
complete
and has
control.
delivered in
I mean,
that way,
they
whether
are
it's
in
the
complete
economy,
control of him.
whether it's healthcare, even on the global stage. What other
Somehow.
leaders have said about him.
He
Right?
acts really
What he has
fucking
been
weird,
able
dude,
to
for a
bring leaders
president.
together, more than 50 countries, to deal with an issue, not an issue, a war, be very clear, in Ukraine, where the brave people of Ukraine are fighting against Mr. Putin's aggression. So world leaders see it. Leaders on the other side of Pennsylvania, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat, see it. And so that matters as well. And that's what we're trying to say to you as well. It is that we have seen and we have heard from others that this is a president that has delivered, and this is a president that's going to continue to do so.
This
for
is
the
going to be a
American
good
people.
one today.
Thanks, Kareem. You've downplayed concerns about the president's memories in situations where he's mixed up certain things. You've said it happens and it's common, but yesterday we saw the president again have a mix-up with the president of Egypt, with the president of Mexico.
Yeah.
So how do you explain that? Is it not valid that voters would have these concerns?
Look, what I would say is this.
Go for it.
This is a president that has had relationship with world leaders for more than 40 years.
Okay,
He
so it's
has.
okay to mix them up? No.
And
No.
at times, and I even said this yesterday, does
No,
he
no, just no.
He
Not as a
misspoken,
president.
as many of us do.
International
I've laid
TV,
out
no.
some examples
No,
of
you can't do
even
that.
Speaker Johnson just on TV on Meet the Press on Sunday, who
Especially
said
at a time like
he
this.
supports Iran when he meant to say he supports Israel. It happens. It truly, truly happens. In that same answer that he gave, he actually gave an incredibly detailed answer on the overlapping dynamics in the Middle East as he was responding to the question that he received from one of your colleagues.
Oh, it was
And
intricate
look,
or something? Is that what she's saying?
I want to
It had a
quote
lot of
one more person, as I've been
complexities to
quoting
it.
folks today.
story.
Yara Rosenberg at the Atlantic said, Biden has gaff names his entire career. His entire career. It is not uncommon that he has done that, like many of us do. And he said he was clearly talking about Egypt and named Sisi and laid out his policy and the broader issues in detail. Twitter just isn't interested in that, right? And so look. This is a president who has the experience. You've heard me say this, he's been senator for 36 years.
Twitter
He's been
did it
obviously
to them.
vice president for 8 and now president. He has these long relationships with leaders.
Just Twitter.
I think what's
Nowhere else
important
really talking
here
shit
is to
about it.
remember is that when it comes to the essence of the issue at hand, he understands
If the people
that
think
and
it's
has
a
dealt
fucking
with that
issue, it's an
probably,
issue. That's how this shit works, man.
Better than any
She-
modern
why
day
does she
president
get that?
because of the record that we have seen, because of what has presented in front of him as we look at what's going on in the world, what's going on in Ukraine, what's going on in the Middle East.
How did the president react when he first saw the report?
I'm not going to get into private discussions, private conversations with the president.
And just to follow up quickly, I think Justin had asked this before, but Ian Sams was making this argument that these are notes that he was reading from his own personal notes, from his own personal diary, but that can still be classified information even if it was stuff he had written to himself. So Is the White House disputing that there was classified information there?
So look, I'm not going to get into, Ian spent a good couple of minutes going back and forth and answering that question. I'm just not, I don't have anything else beyond what Ian, my colleague, shared here. I think the bigger picture here is that the case is closed, and I think that's what the American people also should know as well. And so I'm just not going to get into details from here. Okay.
Thanks, Craig. With concerns about the president's age, are there any plans within the White House to have him engage more with the press, engage more? He decided not to do the interview before the Super Bowl that many presidents have done. Has there been any considerations about revisiting that or other sorts of engagement? To, as you said, many people in the White House do not see the image of him that the report depicts. Are there conversations about trying to change that perception among the American people?
I mean, look, you saw, your colleagues were, I think, were you in the room, Tyler, yesterday? Your colleagues were, and yourself were able to see the president and ask questions yesterday. He did that, I believe, if not the day before yesterday, he did that a couple of times this week, I think about 3 times, engaging with the press. It's just something that he does pretty often. And we're going to try and obviously pick moments. He's going to, on his own, have moments where he's going to want to walk over and talk to all of you, as he's done many times before. We're going to continue, obviously, to your question, yes, we're going to find many different ways to engage with the press. That's something that we think is very important. It's important to take your questions. It's important to hear from all of you and hear directly what's on the mind of the American people, as well as what we believe is on the mind of the American people, and take questions. So that's not going to change. I don't have anything.
But I'm just wondering if there's been more conversation in the White House in the last 24 hours about a sense of urgency to try to get the president.
I hear the question, but he literally took questions from all of you 3 times this week. 3 times. Once when we were on the broad.
On the press, but just more broadly about getting the president out more to try to combat the idea that he has memory issues and is a.
I hear your question, but we literally did. I was on the road with the president from Thursday last week until Monday evening. We went to Detroit or Michigan. We went to Michigan. We went to California. We went to we went to Vegas. The president has been out there. And that's something that we're going to continue to do. And so he wants to be out there to talk directly to the American people. You hear us say that all the time. And you've seen him do that throughout the month of January. And now, obviously, we're in February. We're going to continue doing that as we have been for the last 2 to 3 years. It's not going to stop. Okay.
Thanks, Kareem. A question about Israel. Has he communicated to Prime Minister Netanyahu that he believes his response has been over the top? Is that language he has used in their discussions?
I mean, look, we have read out we've read out conversations that the president has had with the Prime Minister. The president has always been clear with the Prime Minister. I just don't have anything beyond that. What he said yesterday, what the president said yesterday, he's done before, in saying very clearly, obviously we believe that Israel has a right to defend itself. Obviously we believe we are in agreement that a terrorist organization, they have to make sure that they deal with this terrorist organization that on October 7th, terrorized and killed more than 1,200 people. That is a reality. But at the same time, the president has also been clear that their military operations need to be done in a precise way, in a more targeted way. We need to protect civilians' lives. And so, that has been the case. Now, in the broader scope, the president has been working with his team to make sure that we have another humanitarian pause. We understand how important that is to make sure we bring those hostages home to their friends, to their family, to their loved ones, and also get that really critical, important humanitarian aid that's needed in Gaza, get that in there. And so that's been the president's position. Nothing has changed there.
Can you clarify whether there's been any change in White House policy with regard to tying aid for Israel to its actions?
I don't have any change of policy to announce to all of you. Okay.
instance, my colleague referenced a question that we asked last night. The question was about voters having concerns about the president's age, and his response was that that was my judgment. It was obviously making a reference to public polls that are out there that indicate that voters do have this concern. So does the president not believe that many voters have this concern about his age?
I mean, the president's talked about it. He's joked about his age. Right? He has joked about his age, understanding what voters might think. He has. He's done that pretty often. I think I think the other thing that we want to make sure that you all understand is that this is a president that also has delivered for the American people. That is a fact. That is something that we see in the data. That is something that we see in the policy, whether it's bipartisan legislation that we've been able to get through that people didn't think we would be able to get through, whether it's as it relates to like infrastructure or the Chips and Science Act, real things that American people feel. And for him, that's what he believes is important to focus on.
Had a bunch of other
what
stuff
the American
in there,
people
and that's
need
why
in the sense of issues that matter to them.
was a shitty
And
deal,
that's what
wasn't it?
he wants his focus to be.
You
That's
look
what
into
we
it.
want our focus to be
remember
as well.
what it
That's
was
what we're always
exactly.
trying to communicate with all of you. But he jokes about it all the time. He makes jokes about his age all the time.
I'm just asking for clarification on why the fact that we brought up that concern prompted him to say, this is your judgment, as though there isn't.
Because
that shows that voters do have that concern.
Well, I just stated moments ago, it is your judgment, right? In the sense of like, that is not what we see, right? When we see what.
It wasn't my judgment.
But meaning more broadly. I'm not talking about you specifically.
Yes,
More broadly.
have that concern. I'm just
Right.
asking, does the president believe and understand that that is a concern?
The
that
National
voters have?
Network
He
of
understands.
Electric
That's why he
Vehicle
makes jokes about it.
Chargers,
I get he understands that. But
$7.5
what we are
billion
trying to say is
we're spending on
our
that, so people
judgment
can.
from here, what we see from this president is a president that is
That's
zeroed in
something.
and focused on the
What the
American
fuck?
people.
Have
When
you seen
we
what
see
happens
him
to 'em when they
working,
get really
he is
cold?
focused, and we don't
They don't
see
work.
what, for example, all of this was brought up by the report. We do not believe that part of the report lives in reality. And that is what we're speaking to. That is what we're talking about.
Do you think there's any risk to the president sounding like he's dismissing that concern when he has that kind of reaction to a question like that?
Look, the president is going to obviously speak for himself and lay out what he thinks is important to talk about as it relates to the American people. When he wants to talk about the economy, he wants to talk about health care. We are talking this week about gun violence, right? How do we prevent gun violence, which is an issue that is incredibly important to communities across the country. When you think about gun violence being an epidemic in this country, those are the things that he wants to focus on. Those are the things that he wants to make sure that the American people understand what we're doing to deal with those critical issues. As it relates to his age, he makes jokes about it. He does. You hear him make jokes about it all the time. He gets it. He
Does
gets
that make it okay?
He
What do you
also
mean
wants to
he
make sure
gets
that
it?
we are talking about the issues that, and I talked about this almost starting this, the briefing
knows
here, is what people really care about
He's
when they
losing
are
it.
sitting
He
around their
gets it.
kitchen table. And that matters. We believe that
gets
matters
it,
as well.
man.
Okay, Francesca.
Don't worry about it.
Picking up on Tyler's line of questioning, why wasn't there a 2-2 today with the German chancellor?
Look, we always find different ways to engage with the press when we do these types of bilats. There are many things that come into consideration, and with this trip, there was no 2+2. You're going to see, obviously, there's going to be some of your colleagues going to be part of the pool spray in a couple of minutes, not too long from now, and so you'll have an opportunity to see the two of them. Look, every visit is different, and they're different for different reasons. It's not just us. We have conversations with other countries that the leader, obviously the leader of the team of the country. This just happens to not have a 2+2, but that's not always the case.
And yesterday, when you made light of the president's verbal flubs, had you been briefed on the special counsel report or seen it at all?
Nope, not at all. And what do you mean when I made light of the
Verbal
president's
flub?
verbal flubs?
Well, you made
It's a
some
verbal
jokes
flub.
in response to questions about the president confusing world leaders with deceased world leaders. And
What I did was I tried to state very clearly that, and yes, I did it in a light way because it does happen to many people. And I actually talked about one of your colleagues that I do it to all the time. And so, look, I just want to be very clear. This is a president that is very much focused on the American people. He is very much focused on making sure what he was elected to do gets done. With the promises that he's made to communities across the country gets kept. So I just want to make sure that is made also very clear.
And finally, in response to the special counsel report, one of the president's Republican presidential rivals, Nikki Haley, has called for a mental competency test for the president. Is that something that the White House is actively considering as a way to try and put to rest some of these allegations about his memory lapses?
I mean, look.
That'd be awesome. I think it should be televised.
I'm
Dude,
not
can
a
you
medical
imagine?
doctor.
Dude, that'd be
So
such a good
certainly I'm
event.
not going to
I would
stand
watch
here
it.
and make
president being
opine
IQ tested.
on tests or anything
That'd be
of that nature.
hilarious.
What I can say
Yo.
is that, and I remember talking to
neuropsychological exam,
the
man.
president's doctor last
They'll
year
know.
when I was asked about a cognitive test when the president's physical came out, and he said to me, and I'm paraphrasing because this was over a year ago at this point, that because of the president's actions every day, what he deals with world leaders,
Well, that says it all.
the domestic issues
Oh, no,
that he
he's
has
overwhelmed?
to
What
deal
is it?
with.
What?
He believes
What?
that shows, right? That
No,
shows
no,
that.
see,
that
that was my first guess. I don't think so, though, because he's got people holding his hands.
Right?
No,
and didn't
no.
believe that a test like that was warranted because of just who he is as president.
He's
of the
surrounded
United
by
States and
people
everything
holding
that he
his
has to
hand
deal
and
with.
propping him up.
But
That's
again,
bullshit.
I'm not a medical doctor. The president's going to continue to be obviously transparent when it comes to his physical. We were the last 2 years. We'll have one. He'll have one this year, and when we're
They don't
when
do a
the
physical in the
time permits,
brain.
obviously, or when the
Would they
time
do
comes,
that?
we'll certainly share that.
Do they?
Thank you, Kareem.
heard that.
Last night, soon after the president's remarks about Israel, the
they?
administration announced a national
Bust a book
security
out on your
memo
ass? Sir.
that calls for the State Department to obtain written assurances that countries that receive weapons from the U.S. will use those weapons in accordance with the law of war. Jake Sullivan, Kirby, others have previously said that the U.S. already requires those assurances. So why did the administration feel the need to formalize that and ask for it in writing now?
So look, so this memorandum that you're speaking of, it emerged in part with our discussions with members of Congress, and so this obviously memo came out yesterday, and so it's called the National Security Memorandum. It outlines the standards that countries must adhere, as you just laid out. But I also want to be clear: there are no new standards in this memo. We are not imposing new standards for military aid. That's not what is in this memo. Instead, we are spelling out publicly the existing standards by the international law, including the law of armed conflict. So we are also, one thing that we are doing is creating a new annual report to Congress that members have requested. This is in request because of the interest of transparency. So this is in line with conversations that we have with the congressional members as we try to really, work together in a way that makes sense and moves the ball forward. But this is not new standards. This is something. These are things that already exist. To your point, that is now in writing. And then we did create a new annual report for more transparency.
If Israel doesn't sign off within the deadline of 45 days, because it is involved with active conflict, will the U.S. aid be cut off immediately?
So what I can tell you is that we did brief the Israelis on this. They reiterated their willingness to provide these types of assurances. So those conversations are happening, and they obviously they reiterated their willingness for these assurances.
Thank you.
Okay. One more. Okay.
Thank you, Kareem. If the special
She's
counsel
exhausted.
says President Biden's got significant limitations on his memory, then who is helping him run the country?
The President of the United States runs the country. The Commander-in-Chief runs the country.
How can he be trusted with the nuclear codes if I get that you're saying that nobody in the building would say that he's got an issue with his memory, but just the little part of what we get to see, he's made mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake on camera this week.
So I'm going to be very clear here. The reality is that report, that part of the report, does not live in reality. It just doesn't.
So the special counsel is lying about the president's memory.
It was gratuitous. You heard from Ian Sams, my colleague. It is unacceptable, and it does not live in reality. That is just the facts. And look, It is a closed case. That is what the special counsel said. And what matters here is that the president in the last 3 years has delivered on the economy, has delivered on health care, has turned this country around.
He hasn't delivered on the
after
economy.
Last president left us
I don't know
with an
about
economy
healthcare.
that was in a tailspin.
Mine's the same as
That's
it ever
what we were
was.
dealing with. That's
Actually.
what we were dealing with. If you think about the world leaders and issues that
worse or
have been
not.
going on in this country for the past
be.
2-3 years, not in this country, in the world, right? When you think about Ukraine, the president was able to bring together
I think it's
NATO,
worse,
NATO
actually, than
allies.
it used to be.
They've been the strongest than they've ever been, and make sure that we are providing
on it.
what Ukraine, the brave people of Ukraine, need as they're fighting aggression, Putin's aggression. And that is what this president has been able to do. His experience as former senator, as former vice president, and now president, has gotten us to a place where we've been able to turn things around in a way that we meet the needs of the American people, whether it's domestic issues or national security issues. And that is what matters. That part of the report does not live in reality. Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend.
When can we talk to the president's doctor?
Bullshit. They're bullshit artists. See, what else was there? Simon. Simon needs some food at least. Happy about that. That's pretty cool. I never watched the Tucker Carlson thing. Did y'all watch that? Did you watch it? How was it? I just didn't feel like listening to Putin say you speak Russian for an hour or whatever it is. Good on that. Anybody have any highlights from it? Is there a highlight? He's not playing. I'm trying to get him to play, but he's not really playing. He's just sitting there. I'm trying to get him to play so he'll eat more. Like if he moves around a little bit, and he'll follow it a couple times, and then he'll start eating, hopefully. But now he's just pacing around me. Talk about Simon enough, I'll get off here. I'll start feeling bad for him. He's freaking circling me like a shark. So Brian got crazy today. He got on and just talked without the camera on. I didn't listen to any of it. I don't know who would do that. He would put themselves under that much torture. What's good about it? Like, I already don't give a shit about either side, so it's gonna make me like all of a sudden give a shit about Russia more. Be like, oh, poor Russia, poor Russia. I'm not gonna feel like that no matter what he says. So it's just, I think it's a waste of my time to watch the Russia. I'm never gonna go to Russia, and maybe if they attack us or something, I'll care about Russia more. But right now, I really don't give a shit what happens in Russia. I can't do anything about it. I don't have. I know that I want us to stop giving money to Ukraine and not give money to Russia. How about that? And let them just do their own thing. I think that would be cool. Can't we just let them do their own thing and let Europe take care of that shit? Until we absolutely have to get involved. You know, like World War II. Why can't we do it like we did World War II? Why we got to get in at the beginning of the war? Oh, war just popped off. Pop! Here's money instantly. Man, why can't we see what they could do for a little while? Shit. Because if they're really that weak to where they can take them that easily, then holy shit, how much of the money pit is this? You know what I mean? So what are we even doing? It's like buying a boat, bust out another 1,000. Pop. But in their case, it's 1,000 million, billion. Yo, what are you looking at, buddy? Come here. You want to come hang out, Simon? Since you're gonna stare at me. Just sitting down there staring. Just in the corner of my eye, so he knows if I look over, I'll see him there. Hold on. Should I get off of here and play with Simon now? I gotta see something. Bruh. Oh, they were fucking. Oh, those two people, they were like yelling at each other to talk to each other, and she was playing some video that was sounding like people fighting or some shit. They were just standing right in front of my place while they were doing it. So I was like, what is going on? He knows I was back. Oh, maybe that's it. Is that it? Is that what's going on? Oh, hey, do you think this dude is... Oh, this is 2 minutes ago.
Chases our suspect, 15-year-old, with all the white outfit, down towards 6th Avenue.
15?
We saw the video. He turns once. He fires towards our officer. Our officer takes his gun out, but he cannot return fire. There's too many people in his way. As the suspect goes through the cut between the buildings, he's running. He takes his gun out under his armpit. He fires again at our officer. Our officer cannot return fire. He flees into the subway on 46th and 6th. The MTA cameras down there gave us great video of him going on the tracks, then coming off the tracks and fleeing onto the street. The one juvenile we have back since last night, we're still trying to figure out his role in this. And the detectives want to get this right.
Dude,
this morning we...
Is this a New York thing or like a Gen Z thing where they have to wear like everything the same color? That dude looks like a crayon. That's crazy. Is that one of the other immigrant people that were in the fight look like they had all the same color on? It's like a gang thing, or it's just they I don't know, man. What is that? I've never wanted to wear all the same color like that, all exactly the same.
Apprehended
color.
The third piece,
Never
a 16-year-old.
for me.
He is in our custody also, but again, our detectives are trying to figure out what their role is, and right now they're going through, scouring through video to see exactly what those two did. We have now identified our shooter. He's a male Hispanic, 15. His name, Jose Alejandro Rivas Figueroa. Rivas Figueroa, 15 years old. He resides in a temporary shelter in the Stratford Hotel on West 70th Street. He entered our country in September of this year.
Motherfucker!
He is considered armed and dangerous.
Of course he's an immigrant.
He's 15 years old. He is in possession of a .40 caliber handgun that he had no problems firing into a crowd of the store, striking a tourist, not shooting at a cops once, shooting at them twice.
This is huge, dude.
Our fugitive regional task force is currently looking for him as we speak.
Right, this is breaking news.
And I gotta tell you, if one of those bullets hits our cop last night, this is a whole different conversation we're having today. Our cops showed great restraint not to fire their weapon into crowded New Yorkers.
I didn't know he was an immigrant until just now.
The stance of
Whoa.
the city and this police department, we don't care who you are, what your status is. We're not going to broad brush a whole migrant community as being bad people. Just like we wouldn't broad brush a whole community, gang members from another borough for a whole borough. But we're not going to put up to this. My concern, our concern, the community's concern is to take this on.
This is gonna fuck with things. This is huge, dude.
The streets.
This is the biggest thing that's happening for our border in months, man.
Hopefully, we'll
for
come
the
to a
border.
conclusion on this very soon.
This is gonna open more people's eyes to it.
I'll open up to any
for
questions
sure.
you might have.
Anthony Di Lorenzo, Pix 11. Chief, can you tell us if he's also his country of origin? And if it is Venezuela too, do you think that this is part of the whole gang problem?
His origin is Venezuelan.
Have you spoken to the Venezuelan gangs that are infiltrating the city that
There are some Venezuelan groups of migrants, I say some, not all, that are affecting crime in our city more so now than when they first got here. And we spoke about it last week, the trends in crime. We saw the moped robberies and snatches. We see pockets being picked in Times Square and on the subway. We see some groups going to stores, Macy's, King's Plaza, Glass Hut, and stealing property. So yes, we are seeing it. It's a trend. But I want to be clear here again, right? We don't care.
He's trying not to get sued.
What you are,
That's
what
why
your
he has to say
status
this.
is. Our job is to keep this community
Right.
safe, and the priority right now
We get
for the
it,
city,
buddy.
this police department, our federal partners, is to get this young man off the street.
Alejandro, Etienne.
It's gonna take them killing a police
Well,
officer.
it's us. We still have some dangerous people throughout our city.
Probably.
We will deal with that. We will deal with that. Okay. We made those arrests at Times Square you referred to. That's going through the process
gonna
right now.
swing
with
New
the
York,
DA,
dude.
DA's office, which he
This
dropped
could
7
swing New
indictments
York
yesterday.
Republican.
There will be consequences for those actions. And here last night, we have a. Don't forget about the female tourist
That'd be
being
crazy.
shot in the leg who was just shopping. You shoot at my cops twice. This will be dealt with.
10-10 wins.
This type of shit keeps happening.
Well, his training dictates you got to be prudent when you're going to fire your weapon, and when there's people around, you just can't fire it. You don't want to hurt someone else. So they showed great restraint, and let's be quite frank, with the most restrained police department in the world, and we proved it last night.
All right, Jen Bismarck.
Chief, what can you tell New Yorkers tonight? Is Times Square safe?
Times Square is safe. Take a look around you. Thousands of people shopping, walking around. Times Square is safe. We are still the safest city in the world. And if you see these incidents, our cops are right there where they're supposed to be. We would like to prevent everything from happening, but the second best thing is to be there, effect arrests, and keep this community safe. Yes, Times Square is very safe.
Don't worry, got off the subway. Miles Miller.
Yeah, so there's a 15-year-old. So he was in custody last night and was released this morning. Because he didn't have any role in the shooting.
Well, he was a person of interest. The 2 other minors are people of interest. We want to get this right. So right now, we're not going to reveal who they are. Our detectives are out there right now putting video together, and we'll find out what their role, if any, took place in this. And I have to remind you, I
Safest city,
failed to
by
say
the way.
this,
Where is he getting that?
I'm revealing now. Our 15-year-old shooter is also a suspect in an armed robbery January 27th in the Bronx at gunpoint. I can reveal to you now also, he's a suspect in a shots fired job in Midtown North behind me, where 45 caliber shell casings were recovered. Those shell casings will attempt to be matched up to the shell casings from last night and see if it's the same weapon used.
Linda Smith, Fox 5.
It'll be downplayed because he's an immigrant by the left, probably. They're not going to even want to talk about
You
it.
gotta speak, I can't hear you.
The shooting on 45th Street, just for clarification, a couple of questions. You're talking about he's connected now to the thing in the Bronx and also another shooting on 45th Street.
Correct. Yep. A shots fired job. A shots fired job in Midtown North by the park. An armed robbery on January 27th in the Bronx.
Leave.
And now this incident last night.
All right, we got time for 2 more. Right here.
Yes, I'm here. The last known address, 117 West 70th. I can't quite see it on the way, but
Stratford Hotel Shelter. Stratford Hotel Shelter.
George, last question.
And he's an unaccompanied minor.
Right now we know one is from Venezuela, like I mentioned, and all three of them do go to school together.
All right, everyone. Thank you for your time and attention. Thank you. Thank you very much.
80,000 unaccompanied minors have been lost in our country. We don't know where they're at.
We've been listening to NYPD Chief of Patrol John Chell with an update from Times Square on the shooting at the JD Sports store last night. Again, in the Times Square area, police are looking for the man, juvenile, 15-year-old, they believe, is the gunman. They have a $13,500
all those clothes are stolen,
reward out for his information leading to him and his capture. He also, Chief Chell just said, is a suspect in an armed robbery in the Bronx on January 27th. There you see on your screen just now the picture of this suspect. Police say it began as a robbery on the second floor of the JD Sports store, and then two of the suspects go down to the lobby. A female security person confronts them, takes the bag. One of the suspects fires a shot, misses the security guard, hits a tourist, a 37-year-old woman from Brazil, in the leg. Our understanding is this is not a life-threatening injury.
She was on vacation.
So then the other
here,
person,
though,
police say the suspect dressed, two of them, the person in the blue jacket and a person in all white, believed to be the gunman, take off running down the street. They run into two cops who Chief Chell said had heard on the radio what's going on. One person is apprehended. The other person, whom police believe is the shooter, takes off running between buildings. The person allegedly fires a shot, this 15-year-old allegedly firing a shot at the police officer, does not hit the officer. The officer does not fire back, Chief Chell saying, because it was not safe.
Lucky he wasn't in California with that one. He'd be dead right now.
They continue on the ground.
Probably.
The suspect, police say, fires another time.
All you gotta do is run and look back at him.
The police officer again does not fire back. The suspect heading, there you see in all white, the suspect heading into the subway system, 46th and 6th. MTA video, police say, shows him on the track. So a third person, also a 16-year-old, was arrested, and Chief Chell saying they're just trying to figure out everybody's role here. Important, again, the suspect his name is Jose Alejandro Rivas Figueroa, 15 years old, living in a temporary shelter, a hotel. Birthplace Venezuela, a hotel in New York City, entered the United States last September, charged with attempted murder. And Chief Chell said, consider the suspect armed and dangerous.
He already has
this
another
gun, a .45 caliber gun. So this is an incredible story coming off of what happened on January 27th, the Saturday, in Times Square, where an officer and a lieutenant were attacked allegedly by a group of people. 7 people have been indicted. So this search continues. A 15-year-old who is considered armed and dangerous. We'll have all the latest for you on television, CBS 2 News at 5 and 6, streaming.
Yeah, and what's wild about that is the people of New York are like living in fear now of some 15-year-old immigrant. Like, that's how a lot of people are going to be looking at that. At least they have to. There's this murderer, possible trying to, or dude that's willing to kill somebody, roaming the streets that they know for sure. It's like he's got a kid mentality too, so he's like he's a little retarded. Got all these endorphins and whatever, fucking all this shit popping off. He can't even walk around without getting a boner, man. He's like, why do I have a boner? Fuck you. Get away from me, SA. You know what I mean? They shouldn't have guns like that. They don't even know what the fuck's going on in the world. Themselves or their bodies are changing and shit. That's actually really dangerous, man. I think it might be more dangerous than an adult who's more grounded, or like, I don't know, just the hormones ain't fluctuating and shit like the same, you know. Once you get to a certain age, you're like, you're what you're gonna be. Until then, shit's different all the time. Like next year is different than the previous year, and the next year, like your body, what's happening inside your head. It's a volatile situation for New Yorkers to have to deal with. And he could be getting backup. Like by now, he could be like, ASA, hey, fuck it, let's do this shit. Orale, vato. You know, like, he got his whole gang with him. His own fucking kids are willing to shoot people. They come out of the sewers. The gangs in New York. There was to bail. Yeah, $25 bill. No, he can't go to jail. He's a juvenile. They got to put him in a church for something and coddle him. Poor guy. No kids in cages. No kids in cages. What about the Dems come out for that one? What about the kids in cages that are in actual jail? You fucking pussies. What about those kids? Those are kids too. Oh, it's okay with them. They deserve it. They did bad things. Stupid kids. Stay in your cage. I mean, there's kids in cages somewhere, dude. Because there was that remember that juvenile facility next to the federal court or federal building, whatever that was in Portland, that they kept tear gassing, and all that tear gas wafted over to it, and they said all the like they went into their cells. So what the fuck? They were trapped in there. They said they were breathing through the bottoms of the gap in the door to get air because there was that much gas inside their cells somehow. Came into their windows or something. I don't know, man. I remember that. Oh, that was a good time for me. I remember a lot of things from back then because the times are good. Oh, you could smell it? Also, it must have been strong at that building then. Hey, Taylor was here earlier. He's probably gone now. I asked him what ship he was on. He never told me. What's up with that? That's not any kind of secret information, is it? I don't think so. I've never heard anything like that. A top secret ship. I can tell you. I can't. That's not a thing. He can't tell me ship's movement. That could be a thing. He's not supposed to tell me like if they're. I mean, ship's movement is different. That could be slightly classified. It can definitely be, actually, completely classified as like the submarine. Nobody knows where they're at. We're not allowed to know. I knew when we like. I think if you go on a Westpac or something with one, you probably know one's out there, but we're training with one. But on a regular, you don't know where any of the subs are. Nobody knows if the people on the sub and the people that need to know. So I don't think there's any rule against saying which ship you're on. What's going on, man? Was there a song I wanted to play? Let's see. There's a bunch of new music that came out that I haven't checked out. Let's just pick a random one.
I want machines, rather like computers, to be an extension of the arm.
Go ahead, man. Anybody say anything interesting today? Sherry was here too. Vote Trump. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Biden's going to be able to be in office again. I don't see America letting that happen, at least. I don't even think I have to vote for that not to happen, honestly. Because I don't even think Dems want him in office anymore. Civilian Dems. Maybe the ones that are in office because they know he keeps them retarded. Like, he keeps them in office. But otherwise, like civilians, I don't think want him anymore. Only trolls. Trolls on Reddit want him. Those are the only people I found. All the YouTube comments are like, what the fuck are we doing? Reddit though, you'll find people who are like, hey, everything's fine. Everything's fine, man. Economy's great. That's really, you guys are blocking the border. The Republicans are blocking the border deal. The Republicans are blocking the border deal. The dude fucking told me today, actually. I hear it's like the same mainstream media rhetoric, dude. That you fucking listening to the White House correspondent too much, man. Oh, that too. Israel, Gaza, as well as the amount of money he's spending in Ukraine. That's lost some people there too. I think he's lost a lot of the blacks. He's definitely lost a ton of the Muslims. If he stops giving Israel money, he's going to lose a bunch of the Jews of the country. Let's be real. Right now, he's still giving them the war funds, the war bucks. So that's it's got to happen. Eventually, it's got to happen. We got to like, whoa, you know, the rain's pulling back. Stop giving both sides money in the Middle East. Because all the food that we send into Gaza gets turned into rockets, dude. I don't even think they need that amount of food. They're inflating the amount of people that they have there, the population numbers. They're inflating them so that they get more humanitarian aid so that they can sell it to Egypt. That's my guess. They take it in through the tunnels. I've seen that they do this, though. I've seen that they do this. They definitely do this, motherfuckers. If you don't know, look into it, okay? You gotta look hard, maybe, but we watched the war for months. We were looking into all kinds of shit, and that was one of the things I definitely saw. There's all kinds of documentaries on YouTube about different stuff. I don't know about the numbers being inflated, but they're definitely selling humanitarian aid to Egypt. Do you think there aren't poor people in Egypt that can use that shit? And Egypt helps them get the rockets. Most people just take for what they hear on mainstream media and they run with it because they don't have time or they want to waste any effort on looking any more into it than that. They just want to take their idea and their belief and run with it because that's more comfortable and it's easy, you know? Hey, do you think calling someone boy is racist if they're black and you're white? Like, if I called a black person boy, is that racist off the rip? What's up, boy? That's a racist thing? Somebody was doing it to a... Oh, well, I'll give you more information. It was a heckler at an NBA game to a black NBA player. Is that racist? Any answers? No answers. There's a... I have someone tell me that's racist. A whole bunch of people think that's like a completely racist thing. This dude got kicked out of a basketball game over calling an NBA player boy. Like, I'll bring it up. I actually got a warning from Reddit for calling someone a boy after it in the comments too, because he was like, "It's racist." I was like, "No, it's not, boy." So I get like if it's a slave owner calling his slave, get over here, boy. Even then though, like is it maybe. But does that mean that black people are allowed to call grown-ass white men boys and it's not racist, though? That's what... Because I've heard them do that before. Like, so... I don't know, man. Why are they allowed to do it? White... What? A white boy is a black calling a white boy is it? Why isn't it? Why isn't a black calling a white boy racist? Why isn't it? Cause that's my argument on it. Because that's a. Let me get this. Let me get this up. This is my Reddit. My Reddit post is from. I'm talking about. Westbrook. Someone calls a Westbrook boy. I don't know what state this is in. Is it Texas? They call everybody boy like that, don't they? They're pissed off at you. Fuck you, boy. It's not like habits. I just don't see it as a racist thing. But here we go.
I'm watching the game. I'm watching the game. I paid for the seat. I paid for the seat, boy. Oh, me. I'm watching the game.
Was that like that was the softest? If that was racist, and now he gets kicked out. And why you're not allowed to heckle at NBA games now? You spend that much money on floor seats, and they can kick you out for calling someone boy? And people are still gonna pay for this shit? Could you imagine? These are probably like $400 seats or some shit. And Reddit, this subreddit, is eating it up, dude. They love it. They look 7.1K and they think that he totally should have gotten kicked out. It's completely racist. He's a complete asshole. Nobody should ever call anybody boy. It's something slaves used to do and all that. Like, they're really going hard at it. So I was like, I'm sure they call each other much worse than boy on the court. Seems petty to kick him out unless he was causing a huge scene. It's a freaking sports game. People get excited and talk shit to the team they don't like. America's getting more thin-skinned by the day. -16, by the way. -16 for that one. Your comment history. You cry about Biden and Democrats. I cry about them now. Yeah. You probably think our southern border is fine and the economy is booming. Economy is booming. LOL. Republicans are blocking an immigration bill right now. Call them Biden is your president for the next 5 years, son. So now he's calling me son. And the whole this whole thing was about boy. Remember? Like now he's like, what is that? I didn't even notice that before. You know only half truths that the mainstream media feeds you. You're delusional if you think Biden will be in office again. That's just funny. Holy shit, your comment history is cringe. Yes, Biden is your president for the next 5 years, and then another Democrat. You actually don't have a life. And want a president that is borderline in a coma. You want more Trump cult. Never gonna happen. All right, hold on. Just kept going. I said, you have me confused with someone else. I'm not a Trump supporter, but still think he would be better than the current administration. The lesser of the two evils. I prefer a president that is alert. That's my conversation I had today on Reddit. I didn't think I was going to be showing it to you guys, but I ran out of content. But now I'm really out. Follow me on Reddit, by the way, to get in on the conversations that I have. That'd be fun. You guys can talk shit to me on there too, huh? I wouldn't even know. Little asshole. Don't do that. Older than the person he's talking to, so the guy is a boy to the man. Right. That's how I saw it too. The dude had gray hair in his goatee. Another guy who had to be younger. He's in the NBA. It's exactly. I thought about the same freaking thing. after watching it. And yeah, to get kicked out of the game for that, unless there's more to this story, like he was really doing a bunch of shit before that, or like I think that they would have added, like they would have included that if he was, probably. I mean, why leave that out if it was something crazier before that? So yeah, dude, I can't imagine paying for. I would never do this now that I like. What's the point? If you can't heckle the team that you don't, that's like part of the fun of being there. And it'd be, hey, fuck you, you losing basketball player! Fucking spent $5 on this hot dog, or no, it's probably $20. $20 on this hot dog. You're losing the fucking game. You know what I mean? You like that's part of the fun. You can't do that when you're at home. You can't actually scream at the athletes like that and get their attention. This guy actually gets one of their attentions, gets his goat, and they kick him out for it? Nah, that's whack. That's fucking whack, dude. I mean, maybe if he was like right behind the bench or something and like scream, I mean, he's like 5 rows back or something, 4 rows back. I mean, they can just ignore him, dude. He's not up in the dude's ear, right? That's how I see that, man. Am I an idiot? Tell me I'm an idiot, dude. I don't give a shit. I don't want to just be an echo chamber. If you think this right here is how it should have happened, they kicked him out for a damn good reason. He should have never called. Let's play it again in case you missed it.
I'm watching the game. I'm watching the game. I paid for the seat. I paid for the seat, boy. You were on me. I'm watching the game. I'm watching the game.
It's because they're black, dude. I said it. It's because the players are black. If they would have been white players, he wouldn't be getting kicked out right now. But they had this whole fucking bullshit organization had to save face and kick out what could be considered a racist white person that's in there yelling at black people, which are protected people now. Actually, I'm fucking serious right now. This is real. We're like, everybody is scared as shit of hurting a black person's feelings since George Floyd. Aren't they? This motherfucker might all of a sudden not be able to breathe or something. I better not hurt his feelings. Fuck, man. And I grew up in Memphis, and I'm not the type that's against black people in general. But this shit's getting crazy lately, dude. Like, I'm not against them, but they need to like push back on what's happening a little bit. Because in a way, it's like the whole country is coddling them. Oh, don't want to hurt the black people. What the fuck, man? Yeah, comedians are scared to even joke the same now. Movies have changed. Movies will never be what they were in the 80s, like late 70s, early 80s, how they were allowed to get a little racist for comedy, like Richard Pryor and shit, you know what I mean? That shit was fun. People look back at those movies now like they're classics. Like, holy shit, people are allowed to be themselves. People were allowed to say something people didn't like every now and then, and they weren't going to crucify them for it. That's changing, though. Is that like the 1984 movie or something, right? I've never seen that, but everybody references it when they're talking about how we're all just conforming to a certain behavior and like, you know, we're all doing what the government wants us to. But if you look, like, I'll show you the comments in here with this are all in support. They're laughing about the dude getting kicked out pretty much. And then everybody thinks it's justified and he should have got kicked out. I've looked into the stats on who, like the average age of the person on Reddit, and it's someone in their 20s. So there's that. But there is that. These are the up and comers in our population, and this is how they believe. So we're getting super soft. Like, this dude felt bad for the kid if that was his father. Like, what? But that's the worst dad ever that this guy's seen. I feel so sorry for him. He's talking shit to his sport. Some kids be like, yeah, dad, talk shit to him, especially if that's not their team. It's getting weird, man. Though I'm not a sports dude, but I thought that's what sports were like. I found this comment. I saw this one earlier too. Mr. T chose that name for himself after watching his father be called boy as a grown man and watching his older brother return from Vietnam and be called boy as well. He said he always wanted the first word out of someone's mouth when addressing him to be Mr. And I can respect that. That has nothing to do with this situation. This is a sports game. You're allowed to talk smack to him. So he's not dropping the N-bomb. He's not calling him something overtly racist. He's calling him a fucking boy, man. Are you kidding? He didn't say, like, boy, you better sit down before I get my whip. You know, like some dumb shit. Like, he wasn't even, the way he put boy in the sentence wasn't even racist. They're trying to just cancel culture words. Oh, no, that hurt my feelings. That could hurt somebody's feelings. You can't say that like that. And then I get a warning from Reddit, and one of my comments deleted for responding to his comment where he says, "Boy is racist. I'm sorry that you're one of the last ones to find out about this, but it's a racist term." Blah 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 blah. I was like, "No, it isn't, boy." At Reddit, I got some kind of automated warning strike from Reddit for that. The first one I've ever gotten, actually, in like 6-7 years of being on Reddit. That's kind of crazy. For boy, of all things. I was harassing somebody by calling them boy. And then I looked more into it. There was actually a case that just happened recently where federal court awarded somebody for discrimination, racist discrimination, because he was being called boy. But I can't remember. I think it was his job. Let me see. February 21st, 2006, Tyson was calling someone boy. And apparently he sued him for it. I didn't look further into the case, but for boy in most contexts is not discriminatory, even insulting. In the context of use of the white manager about an African American subordinate in the South, the word may become an epitaph. Is that how you say that? And wait, can I do this? Read.
Epithet.
And was evidently understood that way by the jury in Ash with little difficulty. Similar difficulties arise in sexual harassment cases with the ordinarily innocent words baby and mama. Come on, man. What? Somebody got sued for calling someone baby? And mama? Probably, dude. Fuck, man. Would that happen? Context is everything. So isn't that interesting? That's something I've been kind of looking into lately. I guess calling someone boy is racist to some people. A lot of people, dude. Oh, I didn't know. I thought maybe if you were like doing it like you were like a slave, or like, get over here, boy. Like, you know, like really, boy, you better get right over here. You act like you're doing some whip action or something. It's like, whoa, okay. Now you're getting all racist with it. But like, just calling someone Boy, I thought we were past that. Maybe if we were right out of like the slave movement, like Civil War just ended and you were doing it, maybe. But they can call us boy too, man. It's the same, and it's just as insulting. It's not any more insulting to a black person than as a white person to be called boy when they're a man. It's literally the same fucking thing. They don't. Black people nowadays don't see it as he's called me a slave. They don't see that. They don't think that that's not their first like. At least I don't think they do. I really just don't think they do. I don't know. If they are, they need to stop thinking about slavery so much. I think we can just kind of bust out of the mold, maybe. Because if they're thinking about my ancestors are slaves all the fucking time, that's not healthy. That's not a healthy environment, mental health environment. Like you need to get past things. You can't do anything about that. You got reparations. That's not gonna help your life, man. Want reparations all the time? That might turn them into a criminal. Oh, here's some more information on it. Dude, is this why we all say hey, man to each other? Man, I know what you're talking about. Black people started that because they wanted to be called man. Is that true? That's crazy. Interesting. I put that at the beginning of a sentence just yesterday. Like man, comma, and I said something. Black people started that though? White people were so confused by hey man that the 60s happened and everybody of whatever race started calling each other man until the original significance was lost. Whoa, dude, that's a trip, dude. Whoa, but I don't know. It might have been popularized by the hippies, but I think black people might have actually started it though. I don't know, who is this guy? Mark Forsyth wrote that. A British writer, nonfiction. Yeah, this is him. Etymology of English words. That's the dude. That's our dude. I guess he knows his shit on it. I was expecting him to be way older though. He must know though. He went to school. Lincoln College. Oh, look at that. Wow. Pretty. That grass. Just say don't pee on it. Please keep off the grass. What the hell is it for then? Just look at it. Just look at it. Look, it's got. What are these for? Is it a cricket field? It has corner protectors. Why? Wow. That's why this dude went to college. Dude, this library though. They really used to build buildings like ridiculously high. Like, what is all this space that they have to heat? Why would you do that? Are you stupid? Hey, was there something up there at one point that they needed that space for? There was another floor at one point. That's so much space to have to heat. Like, I don't even like this door being open here. That's how much I'm trying to keep the heat just in my little cube. Get much wider. Oh, what does that mean? This is a pretty white place. We must know what he's talking about. Wow. Because I mean, I'm not like that. Because he like he's willing to give up his race, having started the man thing. He's one to do that, even though he doesn't even have any black people around to convince him to do that. He did it on his own, so it must be true. Yo. This is his school, dude. Well, you can stay at the hotel around the corner. Everybody takes pictures of that tree and this sign. What is their obsession with the tree? Ah, it's pretty cool, actually. Probably the coolest thing there. I feel like I should look like that, sound like that if I was there. Like this guy, that's what he sounded like. Dude, it's like the never-ending pictures. You know, pictures originated from what is it? The images, Google Images search originated from a movie star getting a dress. Who was it? It was a Mexican one, or a. It was because everybody was looking for the picture of her in that dress. Who was that? It was like early 2000s. Anybody remember? Because you could see her side titty or something, and in the middle, and Google created Google Image. Dude, I'm looking into it. I bet I could search for it. Why? Cool. No. There it is. Google Images proves Google search. The search engine Google search. Blah, blah, blah. 2001. Due to the demand for pictures, green Versace dress, Jennifer Lopez. Does it come up on here? The picture? No. It is pretty sweet. I can see why, because that's not the picture right there. It's this one. Yeah. People are like, whoa. Well, that's not it. It was this one. But that one too? That's the same dress. I don't think that's as good of a picture though. Something about it I don't like. But you can see like Google Images was created because of that. What? What are you talking about? Pussy shot. You get so vulgar, man. What the fuck, dude? What's wrong with you? I don't talk like that. Harry Potter. What are you talking about, man? Alright, Bill. Are you drunk or something? I don't know. I haven't heard of it. Get a meet. Who was it? This is what Super Bowl Stadium looks like right now. Kind of cool. What does it normally look like? Oh yeah, I think I remember that now. Lady Gaga with the meat. Yeah. It's fucking disgusting, dude. What are you doing? Did they actually let her go in? It's not actually meat though, is it? It's probably just a fabric that looks like meat. There's no way they let her sit down on a seat with all that meat and juices and shit. Right? What? Hold on. It was raw meat. They made a jerky. They jerkified it afterwards. It's beef jerky now. Did they really let her sit down and hang out in the audience with that? It seems like a biohazard. Looks like, why is it white right there? That's weird. They painted? Yeah, maybe it looked gross after they dried it out. This is weird. This is supposed to be a protest. In Italy. Look at what they're saying. Look what they're saying about you. I guess Trump's going to speak tonight about something. Should be more entertaining than Biden's speech. I think Trump repeats so much shit, dude. He's like... He's exact in his repetitivity. Repetitivity? Is that a word? I don't think so. I'm looking into it. Repetitivity. What is a word? It is word. Must be. It came up. The definition came up. Well, repetitive is a word. Repetitivity seemed like it could be a word. Yeah, repetitively. Repetitively? Is it only repetitively? Repetitivity. Is... Illy and titty T or Lee? L-Y or T-Y? It must be... Is it L-Y? Yeah, I think it's one of the two, LY or TY. Repetitivity or repetitively. It's one of them. Repetitively is definitely a word. So it might be
Repetitively.
Repetitively. What am I saying? Repetitive. The Z's out here making one letter words and shit for words we already have one letter words for. I'm not here creating longer words. I think we need longer words in the world. Repetitivity. A person's his ability to be repetitive. Repetitivity. Is repetitiveness? Are they? Is it or not? This is nice content. Thanks, boy. Boy to you too. We're all boys. Even the girls are boys until proven otherwise. Boys. The boys. You don't understand. This isn't just a regular person. It's an Italian. Okay? Huh? Huh? Capiche? You're getting to see an Italian eat live. He's got to be somebody special, dude. Look at this. Everybody loves him. He could be the Antichrist. Who says it's going to be an English speaker? Why do they all like him so much? Why do you only care about your own fucking kind, asshole? Baby, you're the racist one here. You're the most racist one here, King. I know who you are now. You know, for the longest, Italians weren't looked at as white people. Just till recently. For the past a few decades. I mean, it's also... what's the movie? True Romance? True Romance with Christian Slater. His dad was Sicilian, and there's a whole like Sicilian scene there. His dad's Christopher Walken. You watch that too. He'll talk about it a little bit. About Sicilians supposedly still being black. That, you know, to them, to the Italians. Anyway. I know what I'm talking about. I can probably play that. What? I don't know if it's gonna come up or not. Oh, it is. Do you think I'll get copyrighted? Hold on, what if I put it... Hold on, let me put it over here. Let's see what happens. Yeah, put this here. Now let's have it. Okay, wait. Let me get that window that is more busy. I need to get one else that is more busy. The road. Put the road up. I want to look at the road. No, they'll probably get copyrighted for it though. Let's see. I just want to play a certain part of it though.
That whore your boy hangs around with. A pimp.
Oh, I can't find it.
Got here.
Oh wait, no, I got by niggas.
Oh my god! I fucking didn't remember that part. I don't recommend saying that ever. I'm not laughing about it. I didn't mean to do that. Holy shit! Fuck you, fucking YouTube. What are you doing to me right now? Jeez, dude. Oh my god. I'm fucking about to freak out. Anyway, that's how they looked at Sicilians at one point. Holy shit. I'm not the racist. The movie's racist. Do you think I know exactly where that was in there? Jesus. Oh my god. Don't joke, Grant. Please don't even joke around like that. Do you realize people might... Come on, man. What are you doing to me? Y'all have a good one. Y'all have a fucking good one, dude. Fuck you, Grant.